Hello, welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today I'm super excited to be with you for week 2 of the NFL. Here you see me, I'm repping the Colts, but for some reason, I don't know why. The reason I say that is because the Colts tied. Let me repeat that. The Colts tied with the Houston Texans, potentially going to be last in the AFC division. We tied with them. Yes, it's week 1. Yes, I know a lot of starters don't play in the preseason, things like that. So no excuses, though. That's all I got to say. I just can't believe what happened. We were down like 23 till the fourth quarter, came back, should have won, tied in overtime. NFL, all I got to say, get your rules together, get your people together, and fix that overtime rule. I know you don't want to be like the NCAA, the college, and how they do their overtime rules and things like that, but do something so we don't end in a tie, ladies and gentlemen. I just do not want to see it anymore. Either you go into a game to win, or you go into a game to lose. You don't tie. We don't get participation trophies, guys. Come on now. Let's get our stuff together. That's how I'm going to start out this segment, and we're going to move past it just like that. Now, with every single week, with every single game that gets played, injuries will happen, and they are part of the game. So we're going to talk about some key injuries from week 1 and what happened. First, we're going to talk about Jamal Adams. He is going to need knee surgery. He left in the first quarter of the Broncos and Seahawks Monday night game. We'll get into that and discuss how that happened when we get later to the teams. But Jamal Adams is out. And probably going to be out maybe for the season or for most of the year. And the Seahawks probably aren't going to make the playoffs anyway. So if I'm him, just stay out the whole year and just get paid. Then next you have Elijah Mitchell on the 49ers. He is on injured reserve, and he is out the rest of the season as well. So there's a key running back, the backup running back for Dio Samuel. He is gone. He is out of there. So for a lot of fantasy owners, hey, kiss that pick goodbye whenever you took him, and you're going to have to pick up somebody else. Maybe, his backup for the 49ers. But Debo Samuel, if you picked him up, he's going to get a lot more touches, a lot more yards, and probably a lot more touchdowns. So you're good there. Next, we're going to go on to the top 2 injuries of the week. TJ Watt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He tore a left pec muscle. He's out for 6 weeks. Now, we weren't sure with the reports if he was going to be out the whole entire year or if he was going to be out 6 weeks. But he got a second opinion. He's only going to be out for 6 weeks. So for fantasy owners, if you do defensive players like one of my leagues does, and you pick TJ Watt, this looks like he'll be out for 6 weeks, but a sign of relief that he's not out for the season. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers as well, he is your key player on defense, one of the captains that holds the defense together and why they play like they do. So having him out is definitely going to change that defense for the Steelers a little bit, but we'll see how they're able to play the rest of the season and if that offense can pick it up. Our last injury that we're going to talk about before we go into our NFL regular season week 2 picks with Beagle and I, Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got hurt. It didn't look like he got hurt too much, or I don't know how he did it on a helmet, or if he just threw it, or when he got tackled and went down and someone broke his thumb, though. So he fractured his thumb, actually. And he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks now. A lot of people weren't sure, like Jerry Jones and everybody, is my season in jeopardy, or the Cowboys season in jeopardy? Not to say their season's in jeopardy, but if they don't stay above water, they will definitely not win the NFC East, and they'll definitely not make the playoffs. Now, with this, I honestly actually didn't see him winning the playoffs anyways. I have the Philadelphia Eagles coming out of the NFC East, but with this, you just don't know what that NFC East is going to bring, because the Giants got their first win, along with the Commanders got their first win as well. So they didn't get a win in, so let's see how many losses they rack up before they get their first win. But huge injury to Dak Prescott, and it's going to set the Cowboys back, especially the way that they've been playing. So, injuries, week 1, those are the big key ones. Hopefully they don't have any other big ones, and people can stay healthy, and all these players come back when they can. Now we're going to talk about the NFL week 2 season. Before we talk about it, I'm going to tell you my record. I'm going to tell you Beagle's record. Now, Beagle finished with a better record. Beagle is beating me, but not by very much. His record is 10, 5, and 1 tie. Mine is 9, 6, and 1 tie. So we differed a little bit. The pick that really, there was actually kind of not really too many, but the Bears won. The Bengals, we both lost that one. The Panthers we both picked. The Browns somehow won there, and the Titans lost to the Giants. So some key games there that really made our record not be where they should be. So we're just going to dive right into it. Like I said, Beagle is not here again this week, but hopefully we can figure out a time that we can FaceTime, Zoom, something like that, so then we can have making this call as well. Maybe I can get him on my iPad and then record this video at the same time. You guys can hear him. We'll figure it out. We'll set up. We'll get it done here soon. Or who knows, maybe I might even get another special guest on soon as well, and we'll see what we can do from there, guys, because I know you probably want to hear other people than just me. So here we go. Beagle did send me his picks, and I did not write them down, and that is just so unfortunate because it's on my phone, and that's where I'm taking this video. So I messed up. Ladies and gentlemen. I did not write his picks down, so I will write his picks down after this and put them in the comments below. But I'm going to give you my picks, still add them up next week, just like we did last week, and go from there. So everything in the record will still be the same. With that being said, tonight, it is Thursday. I'm recording this video on Thursday. Things just happen. It is what it is. It's the Los Angeles Chargers coming and facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs are at home for their first home game at Arrowhead Stadium. They go last week and beat the Cardinals on the road. The Chargers get their first win in their home stadium versus the Las Vegas Raiders. So they're 1-0 in their division and 1-0 overall. The Chargers are playing 2 divisional games back-to-back. So they're going to have a big test. Now, the Chiefs were able to win pretty smoothly over the Arizona Cardinals last week, beating them pretty good, and the Chargers had a really consistent battle. Now, this game could go either way. The Chiefs could take this game. The Chargers could take this game. It's going to be a good divisional game. But I've got the Chargers winning this game because I believe in Justin Herbert. I believe in the lightning bolts, whatever you want to call them, and how they were able to beat the Las Vegas Raiders last week, and how now they're going to play the Chiefs. And like I said, that's one of the hardest divisions in football this year, but I think the Chargers are going to have the most success in that division. Then we go into our first Monday night game, our first Sunday game at 1 p.m. And we've got the Patriots coming in and playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Patriots didn't get the win last week. They lost to the Dolphins, but they're coming in playing the Steelers, who, like I said, are a little banged up on defense. Najee Harris hurt his foot a little bit last week, but he said he's going to play. Now, with the way Bill Belichick runs things, this could be a toss-up just because the Steelers, have Mitchell Trubisky. They're a very young team this year. But if I had to go, the Steelers were able to beat the Bengals last week. I'm going Steelers. They're 1-0 in their division as well. Next, you've got the Carolina Panthers coming in and facing the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. Now, MetLife Stadium, the Giants are 1-0, beat the Titans last week. The Panthers should have beat the Browns last week as well, so Giants should have lost, Panthers should have won. So it should be flip-flopped here record-wise, but it's not. So with that being said, the Panthers, first week, they could turn around, they could show us what they're all about. But with the way Barkley was playing last week and but he was able to come back from his injury and everything, I'm going with the Giants here. I normally don't say that unless we're playing the Patriots, but I'm going Giants here at MetLife Stadium, home opener. Then you've got the Jets playing the Browns. Now, the Browns, like I said, were able to beat the Panthers last week with Jacoby Brissett, who was a former Colts quarterback, now on the Browns. Now, the Jets can show us something with Joe Flacco. I don't know really how this is going to go, but I think the Browns get 2 wins in a row. I don't know when the last time that has happened, but the Browns getting 2 wins in a row. Then you got the Colts playing another AFC South showdown, playing the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1 p.m. Now, with the Colts, like I said, I want to rip them a new one. I just can't believe it is what happened, but we're going to get our stuff together. Last week was a fluke. This week, we're definitely going to win, and we are going to beat the Jaguars. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Next, you've got the Dolphins playing the Ravens. Now, this can go either way with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, playing the Dolphins, who are new and improved with Tua, playing better, getting Tyreek Hill, things like that. So this is going to be a good matchup. I don't really know who's going to win this one, to be honest. And I don't know who Beagle has as well, because not that I base my picks off of Beagle, but it's just kind of cool to see who he picks as well. Oh, man. I went against the Ravens last week, and they won, so I'm going with the Ravens again, or I'm going with the Ravens this week, beating the Dolphins. Then at 1 p.m., again, you've got the Buccaneers coming in and playing the Saints. Now, the Buccaneers were able to get the win last week over the Dallas Cowboys, but last year, Tom Brady didn't play too well versus the Saints, and I think the same thing is going to happen again. It's going to repeat. The Saints are going to win this game, and Jameis Winston is coming out. Michael Thomas is back. Boy, let's do this thing. Saints, they're the dark horse in the NFC for me. Then you've got the Washington Commanders playing the Detroit Lions. The Commanders were able to win towards the end of the game last week. The Lions actually stuck in there, I think lost by 3 to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm just not a Lions fan. I'm going Commanders. That's really all I got to say. Just sorry, Lions. Our first 4:05 game is the Seattle Seahawks playing the 49ers. Now, the 49ers, they did play the Bears last week. They did lose. It was raining condition. Doesn't matter. Football is football. But they lost. The Seattle Seahawks were able to beat the Denver Broncos with Geno Smith. Let me repeat that. With Geno Smith, they were able to beat the Denver Broncos. Yes, Russell Wilson did come in to the Seattle, a hostile environment where he came from, the 12th man. They got the best of him. They were close, though, should have won, but they didn't. Now, here, if Jimmy G plays, they got the 49ers, but Jimmy G's not playing right now, so I'm going Seahawks. Then at 4:05, you got the Atlanta Falcons playing the LA Rams. Not too much to say here. I think the Rams won that pretty easily. But let's see what the Falcons can do and just how well they play with Marcus Mariota and playing a pretty good defense as well. Then you've got the Arizona Cardinals playing the Los Angeles Raiders. Now, the Raiders could have won last week as well. The Cardinals didn't play too well versus the Chiefs. So I think the Raiders get it done this week with Devontae Adams and everybody who they have with all their stars and things like that. Like I said, week 1 is week 1. Week 2 is where we really get to see them come together and start to mold. Then at 4:25, you got the Houston Texans coming in and playing the Denver Broncos. Now, I could say this is an easy one for the Denver Broncos, but that's not necessarily the case because of the way they played last week. And the Texans dang near should have beat the Colts week 1. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Houston Texans, but I'm going Broncos. I think the Broncos get it back on track and they get their first win versus the Houston Texans. Then you got the Cincinnati Bengals coming in and playing the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, you got your backup quarterback. Zeke hasn't been playing well just for the past few years, I feel like. And, he's definitely not someone you want to take in fantasy, I feel like. So I'm going Bengals, not to say last week was a fluke or anything, but just to say last week was just to kind of to get in check. Yeah, they were on their high horse. They made it to AFC, or they made it to the Super Bowl, but now it's like, hey, we're back in the regular season. Let's get things start to flow again. Then at 8:20, our first 8:20 p.m. Sunday night game of week 2 is the Bears coming in and playing the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, owns the Chicago Bears. With that being said, he doesn't own them this Sunday. So you know what that means. I'm going to agree with Beagle because I know Beagle's already going to pick. So I'm going to go with the Bears here. And I believe the Bears are going to win this matchup. Justin Fields played well last week with beating the 49ers. And Aaron Rodgers just needs to get his receivers in check and needs to get that whole team kind of in sync. So I'm going with the Bears. They're young, they're hungry, and they want to beat the Green Bay Packers. I haven't beaten them in a few years. Then on Monday Night Football, we have 2 games, guys. 2 games. This normally doesn't happen. I think it happens once, maybe twice a season, just depending on maybe one early in the season, one late in the season, depending on how the games are structured and where the teams line up of playoff spot, things like that. But the first game at 7:15 is the Tennessee Titans playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Tennessee Titans last week Should have won. Should have beat the Giants. But I think they're going to fall 0-2 to the Buffalo Bills. Bills played great their season opener, beat the Rams, won me some money, and that's what I'm talking about. Let's go Bills. Let's go Josh Allen. Let's go Stephon Diggs. Hey, this is your guys' year to win the AFC South. Or not South, the AFC. Let's do this thing. Then at 8:30 p.m., you've got the Minnesota Vikings playing the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is going to be a good matchup. Now, this one, I can't decide who was going to take this one because the Minnesota Vikings played well last week. They beat the Green Bay Packers, whooped them, showed them who was boss. But the Philadelphia Eagles played pretty well this week and scored a lot of points. So I don't really know who I want to go with this game, but I'm going to go with the Eagles. I said I just don't know who I'm going to go with, but then I picked the Eagles just like that. I picked the Eagles because I believe that they have a lot of hype in them, and I believe they're going to win the NFC East. And to do that, they need to win these games that not necessarily matter as much because they're not divisional games, but games that are still in the NFC, they need to win those games as well and know that they can beat opponents in their conference. So that's it, guys. That is all my picks. Chargers, Steelers, Giants, Browns, Colts, Ravens, Saints, Commanders, Seahawks, Rams, Raiders, Broncos, Bengals, Bears, Bills, Eagles. Y'all got that? And then I'm going to put in the comment section what Beagle has. We'll compare it next week. We'll see what happens. Let's build on our record, see if I can beat him this week. I'm only down by one game. We'll see what happens, guys. Put what you guys think in the comments, what's going to happen. Watch this video. Please like, share. Would love for you guys to do that. And more highlight videos are coming out as well. Just don't want to give you guys all the content all at once. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys all next week.